Great show. Thank you, guys.
Very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, thank you.
Stuart,
Awesome.
that was fantastic. Thanks again.
Yeah, well, we didn't have a lot of time, but it was fun.
Well, it was a great time. And if you ever want to come back, I would love to have you back.
Sure, be happy to.
Yeah, I feel like I'm around computer royalty today. I'm a little bit. I was geeking out.
And usually after the show, while I publish the audio version, we just sit around and talk. So you're welcome to stay if you need to get going, though. No
Probably need
problem.
to get going, actually.
Yeah,
Um,
no worries.
okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, guys. Nice to meet you.
All right, nice to meet you too, Stuart.
Bye bye.
I was working for a computer company in '92. So I was always watching this stuff, and like all the talk of like SCSI cables.
Yeah, when we were watching that virtual reality episode, I was noticing the Windows 3.1 I think was still on
The top
on
10.
the on the top 10 software list.
That was awesome. Windows 3.1 was like number 6 or 7. DOS was second. I forgot what was first. Yeah, I hung around and watched that bit too. That was pretty great. All this old stuff like EMM 386, and it's like that's the fourth most popular piece of software. That's crazy. I don't even think they track that now. They have to, right? There's probably some tracking. Or is there? It's all digital now, and people with downloads and app stores. It's such a different world. Man.
Yeah, I mean the tracking stuff on the internet was supposed to be easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not.
What do we got for titles, Roger? Oh, really?
Island.
Can't hear you.
Do, 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 do.
I'm kind of done. I'm kind of done with this not being able to hear Roger at the end of the show thing.
Is that a thing that this has been doing?
Yeah, last 3 shows.
What a bunch of hoochie. He's gonna
He
come back.
he mutes himself, and then when he comes back, just won't let us hear him anymore.
It's like Hangouts have been funky generally. I still don't know
All
why.
right, how's that? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Why does it do that?
I don't know.
Why?
It's annoying.
So he didn't hear me that time. I was like, dude, it was great to have you. Now I feel like a heel because he didn't hear me.
No,
Whatever.
you shouldn't feel like a heel. I don't think it's stuck out.
Like a heel. All right, Disney to Infinity and Gone, the Cardboard Chronicles,
Ah,
Daily Tech News Chronicles, Cardboard now in EU before they could only use plastic, hyperlooping across the universe, DHL equals drone hyperlogistics. Everyone's got a hyperloop. Google gives payday loan adds the pink slip. The mother of all computer chronicles. It's a latency stupid. The Chron father. Ha ha ha! That's pretty funny. I
Yeah.
actually like that one,
That was not bad.
but I don't know if people would get it. So
Yeah.
let's see. WhatsApp, Windows, and Mac. Drone it up. VR so old. VR colon the 80s strike back. You know, it's weird watching because I remember my community college, they brought one of those VR units in for people to play around with remember the student center in the middle of the campus? And they had the giant flying Petrodons and stuff. I was like, oh, this is cool, I guess.
I like the Chron father actually.
Yeah, the Chron father.
Yeah, if I'm voting, it's Cronfather. I like that. Of everything I heard.
SCSI key. I still have a SCSI card. I have a fiber SCSI card. I also have a
I got a few parallel ports and some weird old I/O stuff, but not much else now.
I have one because I had an old dot matrix printer I used occasionally to print checks.
Oh my gosh.
Remember
To
those?
print
You had
money.
no, remember you had to buy your special checks
Oh,
from
yeah.
this not publisher but paper maker, and
Yeah.
they would just ship you a giant box. It was for my dad, and then you have to roll it in and type in all the payees into Quick. This is back when Quicken just came out. Type in all the payees and the account, and they would print them all out. Like, oh, I feel really like corporate. That little.
So bad.
I'm printing money.
What's freakier? I don't know what's freakier, that seems like yesterday or that it seems like forever ago, because it feels like both to me.
It does.
Weird.
It is so somewhere around right after high school, time literally got elastic for me, and I can remember being in all those situations from that point forward.
Yeah.
Like when you're a kid, it's harder to remember, so it feels longer ago, but
Yeah.
it's different than like, oh, I remember the time I got drunk and my friend was yelling at the hooker outside his window, and my other friend upchucked in the bed, and we had to dump the sheets into the toilet for some reason. It was really bizarre.
That is
Oh, good times. Good
that's a
times.
good story, man.
But like all those things, I can even feel. I even remember the hangover I had. Like I remember it. I can feel
Wow.
it. You know,
That's awesome.
That's
probably because I
amazing.
don't drink enough that I can actually still remember a lot of things.
Maybe.
Oh, Scuzzy.
I don't remember anything, so that bears it out. Scott has perfect memory.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Everything except that one sip in on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
What do they call that? Where someone has total perfect recall, like picture perfect.
Total
memory?
recall.
Total recall.
No, but it's
great movie.
I don't think it's a disorder, but it's a condition where
Oh,
people,
photographic memory?
No, it's a condition.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh shoot! I was just hearing this story. Oh, it was on This American Life had a thing about it, and it's rough. Like they have this production lady in Hollywood that's awesome at her job because she remembers what people's hair looked like when they shot 6 months ago.
Yes.
And so she's perfect because she gets to make up people to nail it for the next season of the show or the next time they shoot the movie or reshoots or whatever. So she's super good. But then the downside is she can't forget anything. Like every single moment of every single day is not only recallable, but all of the emotions with that. So when her husband died of cancer, it's like every day she's mourning.
She just
She's still
relives
mad
it.
at her mom.
Ouch.
Something that happened when she was 5.
Yeah.
Like, sounded rough, man. I mean, she said she didn't want to change it. She was cool that it,
Well, and she's never known it any other way, right? So
Sure.
she's learned to live with it. But
that's about right.
eidetic, is that Tinvec suggests? Eidetic
Might
memory?
be.
Also, well, maybe, but it was like a something Sam. Sam.
Shane says Sam's Club. I don't think that's it.
Sam's
They do develop
disease.
photos.
I don't
Sam's disease is what happens when you spend too much time.
The only cure is go to Costco. So
Yeah.
Memory condition.
Do you have both in Utah?
yeah, we do. We
amazing.
only have a Costco thing, but there's Sam's and Costco everywhere here.
Hyperthymesia?
Sure.
Individual with hypermethisia can
I'll have
recall
two.
almost every day of their lives in near perfect detail.
Really?
There are things I would love to forget. and unfortunately won't.
Hyperthymesia?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's from ancient Greek, hyper meaning excessive, and
Mm-hmm.
thymesis meaning remembering.
Okay. Makes sense.
Maybe.
Neurologist Elizabeth Parker, Larry Cahill, and James McGall are people identified to defining characteristics of the condition. One, spending an excessive amount of time thinking about one's past, and displaying an extraordinary ability to recall specific events from one's past.
Oh, and that exaggerates the the bad things in your past happening because you keep thinking. They keep coming back up into your head.
You just gotta make a lot of great things happen moving forward.
Yeah,
So
never
you have
let
this
anything
huge-
bad happen.
Just have a huge buffer of good times. Literally, just go through an entire season of good times.
We've prescribed you all seasons of good times. You must watch them all.
Temporary layoffs, easy credit ripoffs.
All right. Roger wins. That was really funny.
The doctor is in.
That was really good.
I watched that show religiously for some reason.
I did too. I loved it. You know what else I was really into is Sanford and Son.
I liked the one episode when they had Pat Morita on. You remember that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he showed up on a lot of shows of that era. It seems like he was
It was right after Happy Days, right?
Yeah.
And so they booted him out for the other Al in Happy Days. But they wanted to run a Japanese restaurant with so Red Fox, Sanford, and him come up with this detail or plan to we'll run a Japanese restaurant out of the house of the junkyard. Great.
It's so stupid. I wish that was streaming someplace. I never can find that show.
Oh, and they would write down the orders on baseballs, and he would pitch it into the kitchen, and he would catch it, and he would read it.
I remember that. See, look, you know what's up.
What's up? What's
you know
happening?
what good TV is.
Roger's keeping his head above water.
I know. I think I like that show because, unlike the Brady Bunch, bad things happen to the family, and the whole family. Well, no, but I mean,
No,
it's
no, I know what you. It just was a funny way of phrasing it.
well, but
I
that's-
like it because bad things happen to the family.
Well, you know what? No one lives in a perfect life. And
You're
the
not
thing-
saying you like that bad things happen to the family, which is what it sounded like. That's
no, no. But things happen. Situations happen to the family in totality. It just wasn't like, oh,
Yeah.
Bobby.
It wasn't a
lied about-
fairyland of always. Yeah, yeah. No, I get it.
Everything worked out. No, not everything worked out. And
Well-
it felt good to not be the only one where things did work out. Actually, the best line I had, because my dad was a stickler about buying anything. It's like, what do you need it for? It's like, when can we get a color TV? It's like, what do you need it for? And I remember watching Good Times. There's an episode where the youngest son was asking Ma, he was turning the channels like, Ma, when can we get a color TVs? She says, why? You know the sky is blue and the grass is green. You don't need a color
What do you
TV.
need a color TV for?
That's awesome.
There were so many great lines in that thing. Damn.
Good.
Well, I'll tell you what, with all the Hangout weirdness, I'm starting to really seriously consider an alternative. But when you use Skype, Scott, you just don't switch. You just put everybody on screen.
So actually, I am. So that's funny you should ask. When I started, no, but now I switch, but I'm doing a lot of manual stuff, because there is no like voice detection switchy business
Yeah.
happening now.
That's the big advantage to Hangout for me, is that I don't have to spend any time thinking about switching, and I don't have to have Roger do it or somebody else do it.
Right.
So I get that I could get lots of software that would allow for switching, but for our show, having an automatic switcher that just goes to the person who's talking is brilliant.
It really is. That simple thing is everything for this format. So I'm totally with you, man. Totally agree. And if
So
I could
there's nothing else out there that does it
that I
besides
know
Hangouts.
of. That I know of. Somebody told me there were some. So I use OBS for the actual stream out part.
Yeah.
And I was told that there's a plugin underway or plugin in the works that will do just exactly what you're saying. But I don't know what the status of that is or anything. I know I'll jump all over it when it happens, but I'm totally with you, man. Like, that's the one feature. Well, it's the one feature that almost kept making me go back to Hangouts.
Well, and
I can never get over the audio stuff.
I know some people are like, yeah, like you were saying, the audio isn't good enough. I think it's fine for what we do.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to live with that. But if I get the impression that Google is really just not interested in Hangouts on air anymore. They like Hangouts for text messaging, they like Hangouts for video chats and for business conferences. But Hangouts on air is not getting any love, and these little bugs here and there kind of make me think that
that they're gonna wind it down.
well, Google rarely winds anything down as much as we talk about Google News. Usually they just let it sit moribund for decades.
Yeah, and when they do finally let it, I mean, well, I don't know. I guess they did with the newsreader, but I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I want something that's going to be reliable. So
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't know what I expect out of it, except that when they came out with their game streaming service and improved some of their Go Live Right Now stuff, I thought that meant, oh, okay, this is some fresh attention
right.
has been brought to this. But really, all they did was make it a lot easier for people to use third-party applications and stream to the service.
No, and that again makes me think that they're like, yeah, nobody really uses Hangouts on air.
Yeah, I mean, they have the numbers. Maybe they don't. I don't know. That's incredibly frustrating though, because that's a single feature thing that would be so nice anywhere else.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not tied. I'd be perfectly happy streaming through other places like Meta CDN if we had the thing that did the switching for me.
Yeah, so Skype for a hot minute a couple of years ago did this very thing with the app by itself, and you could capture it like a window capture, but it would, when I would talk, my video image would come up and you would see me talking, and then when you would talk, it would swap us out. So basically exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Skype. So the trick was, back then I was using XSplit or something, but I would use that to just capture that window, and it was switching the faces automatically because Skype was sensing it.
Right.
That feature just disappeared.
Well, and they still do it for the caller.
Right. Oh, right.
Right. So when I'm on Skype for Current Geek, my little window switches based on who's talking. It just never shows me, so it's worthless. Like I couldn't screen capture that and stream.
Right.
But they obviously have a technology that does it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all. Yeah, whatever.
Well, if anyone at Google, I did have a talk with a guy at Google Hangouts once. If anybody, maybe I'll hit him up again. He's probably not there. He probably left. I don't know. But if anybody at Google can say what's the future here, you know.
Only you knew someone who worked at Google. I know she's not that.
Oh, yeah. So far away from that. You'd think, right? You'd think someone who worked as a production manager of YouTube Space LA would be closer to this, but she's not. It really isn't. I think I may have convinced her to do a YouTube show with me, though.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Oh.
Maybe.
All right. Maybe's better than no.
Maybe.
Right?
Yeah, and maybe I'm just missing something. So, I don't know. We'll keep looking. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Yeah. Great show today. Man.
Yeah, and thanks again to Stuart Chaffee for jumping in and joining us. That was fantastic.
That guy was the bomb.
Yeah.
And also, I'm glad that everything worked because I would have been super sad to miss this one. So
I was so like, oh, when you were like, I've tried every browser. I was like, oh my God, like, what do we?
Two computers,
crazy.
2 ISPs. I tried 2 ISPs.
We don't even still know what fixed it, to be honest.
I don't know. All I knew is I accepted it in the Hangout part because I never log into that. So when I logged into that and I got it through Inbox, I went, all right, well, I'll just accept it here, see if it's any different. And I didn't expect anything to happen, and it worked.
So weird.
I do remember I was getting that authentication error.
Yeah.
It was just kicking me back out.
Something.
I tried the DTNS account. I tried my Boop account.
Oh, did you try blowing out the cache?
Did you try blowing on your computer?
I didn't do that. I didn't blow on it. I didn't physically blow on anything.
All right. Next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for
time.